Today is World Polio Day, set aside to review challenges and appreciate the gains in the fight against poliomyelitis. The spread of poliovirus is a public health emergency of international concern, and the risk of poliomyelitis remains until it is eradicated globally. Nigeria has recorded strong gains in the fight against polio by maintaining high immunization coverage, robust surveillance systems, and rapid response mechanisms to any potential outbreaks. Nigeria was declared free of white polio in 2020, but the transmission of the circulating vaccine-derived poliovirus type 2 strain of the paralyzing disease remains a concern in the country. Stakeholders stressed the need to uphold and strengthen polio essential functions, eradicate polio, and secure a healthier polio-free future for all. This is our focus on Nigeria today. Welcome to the program. Let me carry Clinton. Now, joining us for the conversation is Dr. Usman Gana Abdulkadir. He is the Incident Manager, National Polio Emergency Operations Center. You're welcome to Nigeria today.
Thank you, ma.
Also with us in the studio is Dr. Khadijat Kuburat Yusuf. She is a district polio chairperson for Rotary District 9127. You're welcome to Nigeria today.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to the studio.
Now, I'll start with you, Usman. Now, talk to us about today's World Polio Day. How has it been for Nigeria as a country?
Thank you, Ikeria, for this. So for us, Nigeria as a country, it's a long journey since we started this polio problem. And then worldwide, October 24th is set aside to celebrate World Polio Day. So for us as Nigeria, it's a period where we'll take stock of what we've done in the past year, where we've done well, where we have issues, and then we sit down to discuss with our partners in the polio space to see how we can forge ahead and then do better. So it's a journey that will always start every year, and we look forward always every year to see this period. It's a period where we have all stakeholders and then speak the same language, stop and end polio. Thank you.
Okay, now to you, Khadijat. Yeah. I actually, when I was going through my doing some research, I found out something very interesting. Talking about the Rotary Club, it was I understood that the World Polio Day was established by the Rotary International. So, can you please tell us what the journey has been for you? Talking about the Rotary now, Rotary International. What has it been for you, so far?
Thank you very much. Before 1988, we used to have like 350 cases, 350,000 cases in 125 countries. That means about 1,000 cases per day of children coming down with polio. You can see that figure is very alarming. And Rotary International is a non-governmental body that goes out to do humanitarian work. And Rotary decided to pick it up as a flagship project. Let's put our money into getting the vaccine, because it has been proved that 2 drops of the vaccine can drastically reduce the figure of 350,000 cases per year to a it reduced drastically then. And Rotary decided to put in funds into that venture, and there was results. In 1988, WHO now decided to join the Rotary International, and the Global Polio Eradication Initiative was born in addition to the Polio Plus community of Rotary International.
Now, still on you, Khadija, before I come back to Usman. This year's theme says a global mission to reach every child. How does this resonate with Nigeria?
A global mission to reach every child. We have been declared polio-free in Nigeria, but it is not free until the 2 remaining countries are free.
Which is?
Afghanistan and Pakistan. So long as people travel in and out of the country, we are still at risk. So we must ensure that we continue to immunize our children.
Now back to you, Usman. Like she rightly said, of course, we have eradicated, I think, the white polio, right?
Yes.
In Nigeria.
White
But
polio
then, what then is the circulating variant polio virus type 2?
Thank you for this question. This is a burning question, and because people keep asking us, you said you've eradicated polio. Why are you disturbing us with, coming to knock into our doors and then asking us to take vaccines? I recall during COVID, when the COVID first came, after some time, we had a variant of the COVID. So it's the same thing with the polio virus. So the virus usually it mutates over time, and this is commonest in areas where you have low population immunity and a low routine immunization. And that is why you can see that this circulating variant polio virus is more common in other parts of the country where you have low immunity and a low routine immunization. And one of the strategies for you eradicating polio, the first is to strengthen routine immunization. So you see more of this circulating variant virus in areas where you have immunity gaps and a low routine immunization. So in a nutshell, circulating variant polio virus is a virus that has mutated over time, and is more prevalent in areas where you have low immunity and then routine immunization. Thank you.
Go back to you, Khadija. The war is still on, right?
Yes.
So now, one interesting thing now that I would love to find out is how have you been, will I say, engaging the youth? Because they are the Gen Zs of today. And how have you been engaging the youth in creating awareness about this polio, virus? Because just like Usman just rightly mentioned, it is still on, as in the awareness is still going on. People are still being getting the tap on the door to come immunize the children. So what has been the engagement of the youth in all of these?
The youth is the vibrant part of the population. If you look at those carrying the boxes round to give the immunization, they're usually youths that have been trained properly to know what to go and do on the field. The youths also, youths per se, we are encouraging them to pass the message. When they come for training, we tell them what to look out for, how to get properly dressed before going for immunization, because they are the forefront of going around. They have the strength, they have the energy, they are younger, they can navigate hard to reach areas. So you cannot imagine that youth coming to give your children immunization, not properly dressed, carrying tattered jeans around, carrying clothes with some non-pleasing inscription on it, and not looking welcomed. That is the main thing. Then there are manners. Somebody coming to give your child immunization is smelling of alcohol, smelling of cigarettes. Of course, you will not allow your child to be immunized by that person. And he will go back. He will not tell them what happened. He will say that there is rejection in this house. So if you want to get the youths involved, those that are really doing the work, training and retraining, telling them about morality. Charity begins at home, training begins at home. We should recruit properly trained and educated youths that will go out with our vaccine boxes.
Training and retraining, very, very critical in all of this, she says. Now, talk to us, Usman, about how you are addressing misinformation that is actually, being a kind of a clog in the wheel of progress of vaccination amongst us. Because I heard, in the past, some persons would say, no, don't take the vaccine, it's for this, it's for the other thing, and, trying to discourage people that want to. So how are you addressing these?
Thank you very much, Ikeria, for this. So in fact, currently is one of the major problems that is really drawing back in this program. Though there are other issues by misinformation, and then and especially in this era where we have social media, it has compounded the problem. before now in the 80s when social media is not as rampant as it is now, the information is less. But now with your Android phone, within a second you can just pass a message and before you know it, it's everywhere. So this is what is really, and it's one of the things that is really affecting this program. But for us as a country and Nigeria NPACD, what we are doing, we have an advocacy and communication department where we have experts in communication. And then so before we go on for each campaign, we usually talk to people and then all sensitize people on the importance of this vaccine. And if there are information that has been passed out there that is not correct, we make sure that we give them the correct information. We also produce like flyers and banners, you know, in different languages, and in Yoruba, Hausa, depending on the locality where we are going to operate, to ensure that people get the correct messages and then answers. Also have frequently asked questions where you can read about the myths and these myths about polio virus. So this is something that we continue, but I think we need to invest more on it because of the current, social media is not really helping. So we are investing also in social media so that we can be sending things on the media to counter some of this misinformation.
Yes, talking about the social media, how are you reaching the people in the hinterland, talking about, the villages, about some of them that are really not, do not have access to some of these social media platforms? Yeah,
so in each of the structure is, we have the national level, state level, and LGA levels, and also at the ward level. So at the ward level, for example, at the local level, we have our health educators, okay? So we train them on how to, do interpersonal communication skills and how to address some of these issues. So and then they go to the ward levels, and those ward levels are closer to the settlements, and this same information is passed to the lower level through that same channel.
Now, Khadijat, I know he mentioned one of the, major challenges. So what are other challenges that, you've encountered during the course of trying to pass information and, of course, during the immunization and the rest of them? I know you are at the forefront.
Thank you very much. Surprisingly, it's the elites now that we're getting rejection from. Why? Number one issue is security. Some people in the highbrow area, especially in this Abuja, if they don't know you, you are not coming close to their compound. No matter what you do, the instruction to the gate man is no visitor comes in. So you now want to record it as rejection. But truly it is not rejection. So when we are recruiting, we should know who we send to where. If you know a particular house where there is such problem, you have to get there with a very high level powered team that will be able to break through that wall and reach the child. Yes, some people now, there was a field activity that I went to. They just wanted something, a plus. When you go out to give them sweets, to give them biscuits, the woman said they've not eaten since yesterday, so she's not taking polio virus vaccine. Madam, what do you want? Give me spaghetti, I will give you all my children do. It's as simple as that. Quickly, we got her spaghetti, and that was all. So some of these rejections are not true rejections. They just want to use it to get something and also to forestall security matter, which is a top concern right now in the country.
Okay, now back to you, Usman. That's what did you call it? Spaghetti?
Yes.
The spaghetti technique.
Yes. She was serious.
Seemed to be working very well, because I wanted to ask for that question. But when I had the spaghetti, I rest my case. So what other measures have you put, are there in place to, quickly respond to potential polio cases?
Okay, so for us, there are a lot of initiatives that we put in place. And then anytime we have an isolate, usually there's a notification telling us we have isolate in a particular area. So what we do, we investigate the case to be sure that it's really through polio, isolate. So once we establish that it is true, we do what we respond immediately. Usually an immediate response within a week or two, we go in and respond to it. And then we also have campaigns that we usually do. Currently, we'll be going to a campaign, what we call the outbreak response campaigns. So we do that to respond to the viruses. Then in between those campaigns, what you call in between round activities, children were not able to reach during the campaigns for various reasons, just like the reasons you talked about. And then, because of hard to reach areas. So during in between round activities, we go in there and try and reach those children. We also have what we call, targeted local response. We go to a particular area after risk analysis. We are thinking that a virus may emerge in that area. We go and then respond even before we, especially sometimes we're also waiting for the results of from the polio lab. For example, if you have like what we call a PVs in PV2s, like in Sokoto area, in particular area, the result is not yet out from the lab, we are still pending. We go there to respond. So by the time it comes out positive, we've already responded to that, and then that would not be. So these are some of the things we are doing. We're also doing what you call enumerate, identify, enumerate, and vaccinate. But this will mean we go and identify children in high-risk areas. We enumerate them and then vaccinate them. So like we have a digital register now where we can go to a particular house. This we did it in the AIT states by Sokoto, Kebbi, Zamfara, Katsina, and Kano states. We are doing the identify. By identify, we mean we go identify you as an individual. We know you by your name, by age, sex, and then your parents, and then your immunization status. I will make sure we enumerate you digitally so that anytime we come for the next campaign, we have it in our data, and then we'll know, how far you've gone with our immunization. So we're doing this strategy with, vaccine to over 600,000 children during using this IEV, strategy. So these are some of the things we are currently doing to ensure that we really stop this transmission of the. So
what is the range? Talking about the age.
Okay, the age for this is 0 to 59 months. That is under 5 years.
Okay.
So these are the children that are, under the polio age that we vaccinate.
Another question I really want you to, tell us, answer is that the fact that I know there are some cultural barriers. Some persons feel that this polio thing is not real. It is attack from the village. You understand? So how do you really deal with this?
Thank you. That's true. But over the time and several years, we're able to tell people that it is not correct. This is because if truly that is the case, the numbers that we have, children that are paralyzed will not be this much. And this is part of the things we used to sensitize people. This thing is real. It has nothing to do with attacks, witchcraft, and whatever. We all know that we have witchcraft everywhere. But the witchcraft is not something that can paralyze, your central nervous system, and you get paralysis. These are viruses that go from your guts and affect your central nervous system, and you get paralyzed. So attacks do not, give you such kind of things. This has been scientifically proven. It is purely a scientific thing. It has nothing to do with attacks, and we urge that people should really be careful, about some of these things that they cannot prove that it is the cause of an element of, for example, for polio, paralysis.
Now back to you, Khadijat. What is the role of the community in trying to ensure that we maintain the polio-free status?
Thank you very much. Before you can identify the role of the community, how is polio even gotten? It's fecal-oral, through the feces, and children 0 to 5 years, anything they pick from the floor is into their mouth. So personal hygiene is key. Hand washing, put your water, your soap, hand like this. Any opportunity you have, you demonstrate how to wash the hands properly. You can say I'm doing it properly. Any opportunity, naming ceremony in the church, in the mosque, anywhere, gathering of friends, you just joke about it. Let's wash our hands. You'll be surprised. People who don't, as much as it has been widely described and sensitization have gone out, many people still don't know how to wash their hands. So if we maintain personal hygiene, keep our hands clean, whenever you touch a child's poo, you wash your hand. When the child touches the floor, make sure the hygiene there is okay. You are going to reduce part of the causes of having poliovirus. Then two, the main and the most effective one, 2 drops of oral polio vaccine into the mouth of that child does a lot of magic. In Nigeria, IPV is not, it's not that we don't do it, but then OPV is the prevalent one that we do.
So what do you mean by IPV and OPV?
IPV means injectable polio vaccine and oral polio vaccine. Oral polio vaccine sterilizes the guts, and also by the time they go, this circulating derived variants will be really reduced in our sewage sample if the routine immunization, as you have rightly said, is strengthened. So we should look at, encourage the mothers to go to the health center, and when they get there, the vaccine should be available for the children to have it.
Okay, now earlier, Usman, you mentioned that the age bracket is 0 to 59 months. Does it mean that after 5 years, there's no possibility of contracting it again?
Thank you very much for asking this question. So the polio is the most common age where you can get this is 0 to 5 years old. But this is not to say that ages outside this bracket cannot get the virus. They can contract the virus, especially if they have not been immunized in the past. Yes, so that is the case, which is more common in this age group. But any person outside of this age group that has not been immunized and get vaccinated and then gotten primed with the vaccine can also contract polio virus.
So which means a child that is over 5 years can also be immunized if the people coming for the immunization comes around. No, I just want to know.
Well, no. We are not supposed to do that in principles, but usually the age bracket is 0 to 5 years, which is the commonest age group where you contract this disease. Yes.
One other thing I want to really find out is, now, is there any form of punishment for any parent that refuses, or that rejects the polio vaccine, and also encourage others not to? Any recommended punishment for them?
Well, this is something that is really controversial, and we really have to tread softly on it. I know in Nigeria we have what we call the Child Rights Act. This has been implemented and enacted in several states. We are still having serious challenges. So this is a country where people are thinking that polio is not a felt need. So if you want to use, punishment, and this will not really.
We'll lose it all.
We'll lose it all. So, I know for me, I don't know of any state or as a country a policy where you punish parents for not, sending their children to get immunized. But what I know that is in the Child Rights Act is that immunization is the right of the child. And therefore, parents should see it as such and ensure that their children get vaccinated.
That any child is not denied is all right. And that's it for today's episode of Nigeria Today. A very big thank you to Usman Gana Abdul Kadri, Dr. Usman Gana Abdul Kadri.
Thank you.
He's the Incident Manager, National Polio Emergency Operation Center. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah. And also, I had with me Dr. Khadijat Kubrat Yusuf, District Polio Chairperson for Rotary District 9127. Thank you so much for your time and your contribution.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you for being part of the program. Don't forget, Nigeria Today airs every weekday at 7:30 p.m. on Nta News24. You can also check out this episode and others on www.youtube.com/NTA News24 Hub. Once again, thank you for being there. I am your carrier, Clinton. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.